Also remain unwavering in insisting on a truly free and fair election. The obedient spirit is not such that can be deterred by violence or thuggery, and we shall remain undeterred in our march to February 25th and in our resolve to vote in Peter Obi and Dati Baba Ahmed, the team with the rounded capacity to turn Nigeria around for the better. We wish INEC, the security agencies, and all authorities mandated with conducting elections the very best. Thank you. Now,
Thank you very much. The DG will. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
as we were putting this draft to bed, two things occurred. Vexatious incident. One was a purported press release signed by me engaging in personal attack and recriminations, with the Oba of Lagos on account of the fact that uh, he didn't receive, or does not want to receive a presidential candidate. Now, this is a total fabrication, complete fabrication. Suppose it was signed, purportedly signed by me. It's all over the social media. Some have even started to abuse me before they hear my own side of the story. Now, what it shows the extent to which Nigeria has degenerated. About 2 weeks ago, there was another one supposedly about National Crime Agency in London, on which somebody was accused of, and I referred it to the political counselor at the British High Commission, and he said it's a fake, press release. Gave the telephone number of NCA, the National Crime Agency. He gave their phone number for any media interested, in finding out the truth about it. Now, of course, there's another one now that what is this? As we are coming. Sorry.
Collapse of Labour in the Southwest.
What?
Collapse of Labour Party in the Southwest.
Exactly. There's so much that one can remember, given the multitude of things at the rate, the dizzying pace at which these things are taking place. There's a report in newspapers today that the Labour Party in the Southwest has dissolved, announced its dissolution into the APC, and then so well. One of the things that bothered me around this period is that there are actually people willing to accept some things that look outrageous on their face value, right? Why would and then secondly, I've just spoken with somebody reporting the incident. I said, look, all the names that were listed as among those purportedly, dissolving into APC, I asked him to mention them, just name one. So they are unknown to us, but they have a nuisance value. And for several reasons, whoever the press, maybe not all the member, are encouraging them in this kind of mischief. That people are. He said there was the chairman of the Labour Party in the zone. That is an unknown office in the constitution of the Labour. There is nothing like a zonal party chairman. What we have is the zonal coordinator of the Labour Party presidential, campaign council. There's nothing like chairman of the Labour Party in the Southwest. So when we see these kind of things, I'm marvel. No, I won't say I'm marvel. When it comes to the terrain, but they just increase. They have cut out our task force and the challenges. It seems that they are eager to put words in my mouth, and probably the mouth of our principal as well. I just read a report that is circulating on the social media that while our candidate principal, Peter Obi, was on the road running, the running mate was at the polo club playing polo. Now, so I was asking, okay, so what is the logic you want and the mate is in polo club. The other day, another day it could be that Peter Obi is in the gym or somewhere where his running mate is also undertaking campaign-related, activities. So some of these things are a bit perplexing. The person who sent it to me, I said, okay, so what do you want me to say about this? There is no issue in this one. You said the running mate, he has no right to his health, his private life. I mean, some of part of his life because so you must follow the APC presidential candidate wherever he's going. How do you know that if the running mate leaves the Polo Golf Club, he's going to spend the next 16 hours on campaign, a sleepless night? You don't know. Just because you just want to say something negative about somebody. So please, I will also use this opportunity to appeal to you to at least check with us and also be a bit critical and scrutinize very well. Some of these hoaxes flying around, all over the country. And there is this wise saying that look, is it negatively is a reflection of our strength, of how we stand. That if we don't mean anything, we don't amount to anything in the election. If they don't see you as a challenge or a wrong, they won't be talking about So talking about the party, I don't like what they are saying, but it is also a reflection, a black backhanded salute, to the front runner status of the Labour Party. So, do you have any questions? I will take it.
Thank you very much, DG. Okay, let's start from the back. Billy.
Yes, thank you, sir. We've heard what you said about the fact that you use on not receiving your applications from your office. But we have confirmed reports that the acting chairman of the organization did said
Acting chairman
of the Labour Party in Lagos, he did said on national television that the Oba of Lagos was contacted that the presidential candidate wanted to visit him, but that he was turned down. How is this?
Okay. First and foremost, there is no acting chairman of Labour Party in Lagos. We have the chairman of the caretaker committee, and she's a she, not he. And as far as I'm concerned, made no such statement. I don't know if you, as far as I know, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not aware that she has made any reported what you are saying. Yeah. But in any case, let me remind you that even as I doubt, the veracity of what you are saying, it has nothing to do with impersonating me to issue a press release. There are two different things here. Yeah. That is identity theft. And I don't want to talk too much, but the allegation of identity theft applies better to other people in this election season, than myself.
Okay. All right. You.
Okay, sir. We have heard the conditions again, but what happens if these conditions are not addressed? I mean, this is the issue, the salient issues raised.
Well,
Demands.
Well,
Demand.
Yes, demands. Thank you very much.
yes. Formalities in Nigeria, and this is just one of it. It's not something that you should take as. How can somebody decide what? We'll be waiting for the outcome of the investigation. But it has not been disputed that the thing, their Twitter handle, actually did what was said. What they are investigating, I don't know, because somebody must be in charge of the Twitter handle. To me, it seems if you are maybe, waiting it out, that the issue evaporate or go away. It was a very serious and brings to consideration their partiality, neutrality in what they are supposed to be the midwife. So that's one example they cannot deny. It has happened. Maybe that is even the tip of the iceberg. Maybe more conspiratorial, things they want to do against our candidates in the office. That may be a tip of the iceberg, or an inkling of what is in the office.
So, any more questions? Okay.
Regarding that of Lagos back at the back management, has Labour Party made a report to INEC, petition to INEC against the use of the back management?
Of course.
And what was the outcome?
We are still expecting. There are speculations. There are speculations that they are going to reshuffle the election, the resident electoral commissioners. That's which they should have no problem doing at all. It comes to. It's outrageous. Some things are just too outrageous to contemplate. How can you use? And he was defending it. Mr. Ogbaje had enough to defend it in the public, that there is nothing wrong with an agent of a presidential candidate being charged with the custody of the electoral materials we are going to use. How does that sound logical? How is that logical?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so for the attacks on the Labour Party supporters in Lagos, can you put a figure on the number of people that were attacked? And was the issue reported formally to the Lagos State Police Command, and what has been the response till now?
Well, it was reported to the Lagos Police, and they did take action. They actually stopped some of the violence that was in the making. I don't know how many people were so injured, but I know of a particular person who he had to amputate his arm, from the injury he sustained at the venue of the rally, the Park Balewa Square. That one is certain about it. The things that they did, they used trailers to block the road on Saturday on Third Mainland Bridge, so that people coming for the rally would stop. The same thing happened in the Tiosa. They used a truck to also block, the road, to halt the movement of. But regardless of what they have done, it turned out, one of the most successful rallies held anywhere anybody can imagine. What you can then, leave it to your imagination that if more people have not been disrupted from coming, you can imagine the kind of you'll be looking for crowds where we have to put them. Mm-hmm. So, but this is not a laughing matter, What worries me and what others have said is that this will be a dress rehearsal, for what is going to happen, for what they have in offer, for the election day itself. If you are prepared to go this far in obstructing a campaign rally, then of course, but again, what is happening in Lagos. It has been reported everywhere that how voters, are being obstructed, being from getting their PVCs in locations that largely contain of voters who may vote for us. That has been rampant. That they just through all manner of devices in collusion with the INEC agent. They discriminate, in handing out the PVCs. If I ask your name, and that's also on record. Is it Bale of Obara or what?
Bara.
Addressing their people that know they should go and bring their PVC. Anybody who does so at the risk of his life. Anybody who doesn't, he actually mentioned APC. Anybody who is not going to vote for APC should take leave, should leave, go and look for somewhere else, to reside. So this is the kind of intimidation that is going on. Fortunately, the president has said over and over again, no matter his motives, that he will not allow or is going to do all he can to make sure that this election is not marred by thuggery and the perversion of voting with buying or purchasing of voters. He did say that, and I'm sure that those down the ballot will take cognizance of what he has said. And that's the chief security officer of the country. And before he can emphasize those 2 points, he must have seen some things that you and I have not seen. And that will issue that directive.
Okay. Any more? Okay. All right.
From the foregoing, all the indications based on what you have presented so far, do you still believe that the election can go as expected by your party?
As expected, how that we expect to
Will
win.
the election be free and fair?
Will it be free and fair?
Are you still expecting that based on all these indications?
No, I'm skeptical about that, but we see. I mean, we don't have a choice. It is it's already scheduled. All the right statement notices have been made about the potential credibility of the event. We have many international observers around who are going around. Some of them we have also made our own concerns known to them. So their credibility or their ability to conduct a free and fair election, we are not taking it for granted. We don't have any reason to take it for granted that they will do as they have behaved. We don't have. And one thing that I've also said somewhere was that this electronic voting, they keep, floundering all over the place, was used in the Osun State governorship election some months ago. And the tribunal about a week or 2 weeks ago invalidated the results of the election on account of overvoting. Now, the question you then ask yourself, despite the Beavers electronic voting, you can still have that evidence that the election can still be rigged or manipulated. So, how much confidence should we then repose, in what they claim to be they will do? So, there are indications that and there. I mean, you recall one of the presidential candidates saying that the currency redesign policy was targeted at him. Now, of course, you yourself will now ask yourself, what is the implication? What is the meaning of what he said? For him to personally appropriate it, it means that he was going to use. He had the intention to manipulate the election with money. And as I said before, what he said was anticipated by the president, the leader of his own party, when he said that policy was mainly, was to a large extent, made to target anybody intending to use to purchase votes or intimidate voters with thuggery. That was what President Buhari said. So you can relate those two statements, how they correspond with one another. So whether we believe that it's going to be free and fair, we hope. We are more in hope than expectation. You can only hope, but in reality, hence, there are no, I have no reasons, to expect that it will come out free and fair. But we'll wait and see.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay.
I was still going to ask about the update we get today that I think about 240 polling units that election probably might not hold there. Will not hold there in about 240 polling units.
From the INEC chairman.
That's from the INEC chairman himself. So we are trying to, get what your reaction is concerning that. And secondly, with less than 2 weeks to the election, whether you are under pressure with less than 2 weeks to the election.
Whether we are under pressure.
Yes.
Of course, that is normal. In any election anywhere in the world, you are under in the US, that is normal. There's nothing we have to be. You are in competition. You are in a contest. So it's after the contest that you can afford to relax. The nearer you get, the higher the pressure that you get. It's only that some of us are used to the terrain, and so to that extent, maybe some of us can keep their head cool, and work hard. Now, there is an issue that was raised by a lady on a WhatsApp platform, and it concerns that those the INEC want to use as election officials, they are mostly young people. And if you are an election official, you are precluded from voting. You are disenfranchised. Now, if you now compound, and all over the country, if you compute those who fall under that category, they run into millions. How does it propose to approach? They will not be able to vote. So these are the kind of issues. You should help us highlight in your report that those people, because we are personally interested in it because they come from the demographic, that owns our own campaign. That's the younger generation. So, indirectly we are being deprived, of thousands, if not millions of votes.
240 polling units.
The 240 polling units, why would there be no elections there?
Citing security.
No, they said that no new voters apply to that areas.
It's like apathy. There's
Nobody apply like Imo State that 34 polling units. That about 38. Say no new voters or old ones apply to in part of the voter place.
just general apathy. They are just not showing interest. And you talk about, I think, slightly to insecurity to yourself.
On government spaces, if new polling units, I think that's the polling station. That's the reason why people not apply. It's a crazy police station people are not aware of. So honestly,
See, there is of course the issue that my brother just brought to my notice, and the fact that they are ungoverned, that they are ungoverned spaces all over the country, and to put that into a simpler language is that insecure. There are places where genuinely any reasonable person who want to dare go out under any circumstance to go and vote. Where the bandits are controlling, for instance, as we know, I'm sure they said they are governing about 7 local governments in Niger State. So who will dare, whatever directive they may care to give, to go and vote? So as I said, these are the issues that have not been addressed by INEC, and it has to make an issue of it if it is genuine in its protestations of conducting a free election. That we must work with the security agencies. Now these are some vulnerable areas, that may hamper, the exercise of voting. What can we do about it? But up to now, we haven't had anything of that nature.
Sir, there is one aspect I want to talk about that has to do with the Electoral Act. There seem to be some lacuna here and there. Now look at the issue of the fact that where there is overvoting, election will be cancelled. Where there is violence, don't you think some of your opponents may cause those things to happen in your area of strength? Are you not worried about that?
Of course, that these are deliberate. Yeah, we are. But remember that our own duty, your duty as a citizen, consists of behaving yourself, in accordance with the rule of law. If somebody hits you with a dagger, I think it is the security agencies we should now ask, to. I don't know how they're going to do it. It's a special challenge. I don't want to preempt them. It is possible that they will meet the occasion. I expect them to use all the elements of the armed across Navy, Army, police, Air Force, to secure the integrity of the election. So that is not in our hands to do. But regardless, an idea whose time has come is very difficult to stop. Regardless of what any party or anybody may decide to do, I'm certain that we will emerge victorious.
So, thank you very much, Mr. DG. And, colleagues, I thank you very much for coming. But, flowing from what he has said, please, the difference between us and social media is that as journalists, you owe the duty of verification. So it's not going to be enough to just see media and then start running with it. You see, we work here. We are accessible. So anytime you need to verify anything, please do so. Because it's embarrassing when we just finished a meeting with our presidential candidate. They took a picture and I was sitting next to him and they say, see everybody here, left to right, Nonso, Bubechuku, they did all that, and to my surprise, some of our colleagues are actually spreading that around. Of course, you can see us now. There are 3 members of the media group here. His name is Emeka. His own is Tanko. My own is Tiro. That's how we are. We are not all.
Okay, can you go here?
Even though all our fathers are evil.
So please, ladies and gentlemen, if you have anything to verify, do not hesitate to get back to us. So thank you very much. The rest of it we will discuss when the VIPs have left.
Thank you. DG.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's on your platform.
Okay.
So.
Oh, future. That's not the Nigeria